The footage you see in the background is of a disgusting, horrible incident that occurred last week in Brighton, New York. For those of you who have been following my videos and my updates on this case, or for those of you who may be their first time tuning in and watching this video, give you a little bit of background real quick. So a woman is under arrest. Her name is Angelina Griffin. She is a 3-time felon, a predicate felon parolee who had what is referred to as a ghost address, which basically she found the loopholes to the system. She played the system, and she was living basically in at least one address, which was completely off the radar, to the point where parole officials, and authorities didn't know not only where she was living, but what she was up to. So, according to Brighton, New York Police Chief David and Captain Mike Desane, who, by the way, wasted no time in locating the vehicle, and also subsequently to that in the arrest of Griffin. But they located the vehicle in less than an hour. They located this vehicle that was used, which was Mercedes that Angelina Griffin was driving. But anyways, here's David Cataldi, Brighton, New York Police Chief, during a press conference a couple days ago, announcing the arrest of Griffin. So, according to police, there may have been a robbery that led up to this, whereas Omar Coker, young man, may have robbed Griffin of several $1,000s. But what Griffin did after that was just absolutely disgusting. She jumps into her Mercedes Benz and races down Highland Avenue in Brighton, New York. By the way, for those of you not familiar with Brighton, New York, it is a suburb of Rochester, New York, a neighboring town. She not only hits this man, but sends him flying, according to reports, about 20 feet in the air, doing cartwheels, where he lands on the street pavement and dies on the scene. Witnesses also reported seeing several $1,000s just flying in the air. It's also reported that Coker had a firearm on him. And I want to talk a little bit about that. Some people may think or may say, why are you defending someone who, is believed to have robbed this woman? I'm not defending someone in the sense that I'm just, expressing my disgust. And it's a bigger issue that I'm going to get to here in a couple of minutes, which is really why I wanted to make this video, to call out the hypocrisy that exists, especially when it comes to these hypocritical double standard movements, so-called movements like Black Lives Matter. But I'll get to that in a minute. So it's not to defend this young man. It's to basically denounce the way that he was killed. No one, and I repeat, no one has a right to take another human being's life, especially the way that this went down. In other words, whether or not Omar Coker robbed Angelina Griffin, which is, again, what police believe happened minutes earlier. It's one thing if someone is maybe defending themselves, while a crime is actually occurring. But it's very important to note, and eventually this is what will probably obviously come out in court, is it's very important to note that this woman, jumped in her car and basically did 60 miles an hour down residential streets, a place where children play, a place where elderly, couples walk, or young couples, but, a place that's known for jogging, for running, for walking. A beautiful, beautiful neighborhood in Brighton, New York. And not only strikes this man intentionally, sending him flying and sending him basically to the pavement where he died, but also basically driving off. One report stated that she was picking up thousands of dollars off the street and then just simply drove off. So again, it's just disgusting. And again, no one has a right to take another human being's life. That's what the police are there. As far as, she could have called 911. She could have reported the robbery. She could have done a lot of things other than make a decision to take this man's life, to leave him in the street to die. And that is what I am disgusted by. So again, it's not that I'm defending any actions that he may or may not have done. It's the fact of it is disgusting. But here is where I'm going with this. I'm not the only one that should be disgusted. The Black Lives Matter movement should be disgusted. But it's no surprise, like I've called out the Black Lives Matter hypocrisy, and I will continue to, and history will not look favorably on the Black Lives Matter movement because as a police accountability activist that I've been over 20 years, and my dad before me also called for police accountability, you cannot hold these protests and you cannot denounce whenever a police officer takes the life of an innocent black person. But at the same time, you can't look the other way and not have that same passion, that same outrage, and also denounce black on black crime. You just can't do it. And, whenever I speak on this, because I've been blackballed, I've been blacklisted, I've been outcast by these so-called groups and some of these so-called activists, who have even told me, that I don't have a right to speak on this. So I always feel like I have to put my credentials out there. So here we go. Let me put some credentials out there. I'm a Latino. I'm a minority. I have minority children who are African American and Latino. Okay? And I'm not just saying that just to say it, and no offense to anyone else, but I'm coming from a place where I have denounced, okay, and I have spoken out, and my track record speaks for itself. I've spoken out against police misconduct and abuse and for police accountability for decades. But at the same time, I cannot stand the hypocrisy that exists within the black community. Places like Chicago, where there's literally zero respect and zero regard for human life. So let me ask you something. Where are the protests? Where are the marches? Where is the outrage over this young man who was in his early 30s being run down and killed and left in the street to die? Where's the protest? Where's the outrage? Where are the groups right now on the corner where he was killed denouncing his death? Did his life matter? If so, and I believe it did, he could have changed his ways. There's no reason why he should have gone out the way he did. And people should be disgusted. Not just me, the community should be disgusted. People everywhere should be disgusted. But you won't see any marches, any protests, any rallies, any outrage for Omar Coker. You won't see it. Which is why I say, and I will keep saying, Black Lives Matter hypocrisy is what it is.